So we have Casey here with us today, and if you want to go give her a follow, it's at College Celiac Casey. So thank you so much for taking the time. I really, really appreciate it. And I would love for you to just start off by introducing yourself, telling me about your story, how you got diagnosed, and then who you helped today.
So my story is pretty simple to start out with. I basically was a senior in high school, started experiencing random weight loss, acid reflux. Those were my two biggest symptoms. My mom forced me basically to go to the doctor because I was like, it's fine. And luckily my doctor was extremely anal and overdid everything. So she just did tons of different tests, and that included the celiac blood test. So I tested positive for that, and then I went to a gastroenterologist, did the biopsy, got it confirmed there. And I think the only kind of interesting quote unquote part about my story is, unlike a lot of people, I didn't heal normally on a gluten-free diet. I continued to lose weight, and I ended up getting hospitalized my freshman year of college with malnutrition and vitamin deficiencies, and had to be fed through a feeding tube to get enough nutrients. And luckily that managed to get my system working again, get everything going again. So I was still underweight for a long time, but was slowly able to eat enough gluten-free food and not have to deal with all of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. And was the malnutrition all from the effects of what celiac had caused
Yeah.
for years?
Yeah, because I got down to like 83 pounds at 18 and 5'3". So
Wow.
my whole body was just kind of shutting down from all the damage that had been done.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're like healthy and have come back from it today. Who do you kind of like help on your page, and what is your mission now that you healed?
So I was diagnosed, my senior year of high school. I had already chosen my college. So unlike a lot of people, I didn't have the option to make celiac part of my, choosing decision for college. And so I was desperate just for information on what it was like to go to college with celiac disease. And I didn't really find anything online. There was maybe one or two blogs, but they were all pretty much outdated just because people had gotten busy with general college life. So I was like, I might as well just start one on my own and kind of document my process. And I never thought that I would still be doing it now, 7 years later and through grad school. But I did, just because I found it so rewarding to connect with people who, a lot of them are my age, going to college with celiac, trying to figuring it out. But there's also just people I've had, one of my regular commenters is Dick, who's like 75 years old and was diagnosed in his 60s. And so it was just so rewarding to build a community online. And so I think as much as they've given back to me, I've also been able to give back to them, whether it's recipes or fun tips, or just posts that make them go like, yeah, celiac is kind of funny and kind of annoying at times, but at least I don't feel as alone.
Yeah, totally get that. I remember when I went to college, they put like all of the gluten-free stuff in like one section. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So apparently I'm vegan, nut-free, all of the above, just because I have celiac.
Yeah, I had to wait in a special corner of the cafeteria for them to bring out my tray.
Exactly.
So I just met other people who are also waiting in that special corner.
Yeah. Can you tell me what it's like to eat out with celiac nowadays?
It's definitely gotten a lot easier than it used to be, thanks to different apps that are available, as well as just more of an awareness. But for me, it's also just still really nerve-wracking, just because for me, I often go like, it's not really worth it. Like, I could make something decent at home. I would know I wouldn't get sick. I wouldn't have to worry about like how long it takes me to explain things while my friends are waiting for their food. And so for me, it's a really exciting experience when I place that I really trust, that I enjoy, and I can eat without having to do like this whole process.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times I just don't eat out that often because it's not a worry, especially since I live in nowhere for grad school. So there really wasn't like a plethora of options.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say your biggest struggle has been when eating out?
think one of the most frustrating things is a lot of times you'll see that a place has a gluten-free menu, but it isn't, but they indicate it's celiac. But on the other hand, you'll find a hole in the wall place that like does not have a gluten-free menu at all. But they have amazing options when you talk to the owner or you talk to other people who've been there. So a lot of the times for me, it's just finding a place that has everything you need, because it's not really, even if you see a gluten-free menu, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good menu for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And how does it make you feel that it's hard to find these places? Like, you know they exist, but they're just not easily accessible.
It just makes me feel super frustrated, and I know it's really frustrating, especially like when you're a young person and that's a lot of what you do for social outings or dating and everything.
Right.
Almost like a burden because you feel like you can't go out with your friends like usual, or they feel awkward when you go out with them and just say, oh, I ate beforehand, it's totally fine, I'm just here for the company, and you're okay with that, but sometimes it makes them feel awkward.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's the biggest impact, is just the social detraction that it can cause.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you every time you go out, you don't feel like a normal person because you're the person that has
Yeah,
like 20 minutes to ask questions. Um,
exactly.
Cool. So obviously, with macro menu, we're trying to target that exact thing. So I love that you said that, there can be a hole in the wall. They don't have any gluten-free menu, but they
Yeah,
can totally cater to it. And so we obviously want to bring more awareness to those types of places because like they don't have as much of a reach. And even though like they're trying to advertise it, it just doesn't always reach the people that need it the most. So
for
pretty
sure.
much like what macro menu has done, and we're only in Denver right now, but we've gone and done like kitchen walkthroughs so that we can gather like information about their processes, how they deal with cross contact, and just like provide those resources and that information in advance for the user and the restaurant to be able to communicate with each other, so like breaking that barrier of communication. So my question to you is, how would that change your eating out experience if you were able to kind of like see that information in advance?
I think it would make it a lot easier, especially since nowadays a lot of that no CC issues, and then someone else like 2 days later is like, I got gluten here,
Right.
like with all this conflicting information,
Yeah.
which if you were able to just hear like their, that would make it a lot easier for people to make an informed decision instead of just having to try to rely on what other people experienced.
Right, absolutely. So you cut out a little bit, so I'm just gonna kind of repeat what you said because I like could fit the puzzle pieces together.
I'm
But
so
tell me,
sorry.
no, you're good. Tell me if this is kind of like what you were saying. Saying that like there's conflicting information with like just
Hmm.
review based platform because
Yep.
everybody has like different sensitivities, so everyone's gonna say something different. But having
Yep.
one source of information that's directly coming from the restaurant is easier because then you have the control to make your own decision, right?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So that is totally like the idea behind it because like you said, it's not when it comes down to it, like this movement is not about just like us as a community like giving each other information, because I'm sure as you know like that's kind of the issue with Facebook groups as well, is like everyone
Yes.
has a different opinion about your health, and so like what works for one person may not work for other. So by like directly targeting the source of the information, then it's like, okay, your like intolerances and your food allergies the best, so then like you can decide whether that's safe for you.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you taking the time today. And then definitely go give her a follow because her page is awesome.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I could help you out with a few answers.
Yeah, thanks.